Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to learn listening English with a story. The Rainy Day Bookshop. It was a rainy day in a small town. The sky was gray and rain was falling steadily. Many people stayed home because of the rain. But a little girl named Sophie loved rainy days, especially because of one special place in town. Sophie loved to visit the bookshop on rainy days. The bookshop was called the Cozy Corner Bookshop. It was a small old bookshop on a quiet street. Sophie thought it was the coziest place in the whole town, especially when it rained. When it rained, the bookshop became extra special. The sound of the rain outside made the inside of the bookshop feel even warmer and quieter. Sophie loved to listen to the rain while she looked at books. Today, because it was raining, Sophie asked her mom, "Mom, can we go to the Cozy Corner Bookshop today?" Mom smiled. "Of course, Sophie. That's a lovely idea. Let's go to the bookshop and find some new books to read on this rainy day." Sophie was very happy. She quickly put on her raincoat and boots. Mom got ready too, and soon they were walking out of their house and into the rain. They walked down the street, holding umbrellas over their heads. The rain was falling gently, making soft sounds. Puddles of water were forming on the sidewalks. Sophie liked to splash in the puddles in her boots. It was not a long walk to the bookshop. Soon, they arrived at the Cozy Corner Bookshop. From the outside, it looked small and inviting, with a big window showing shelves full of books inside. They opened the door and stepped inside the bookshop. As soon as they entered, they felt warm and cozy. The bookshop was filled with the smell of old paper and books, a smell that Sophie loved very much. The bookshop was quiet and peaceful, even though it was raining outside. Soft music was playing gently in the background. The bookshop was lit with warm, soft lights, making it feel very inviting. Shelves full of books lined the walls from floor to ceiling. There were books of all kinds and sizes, with colorful covers and interesting titles. There were books for grown-ups and books for children, books with stories and books with pictures. In the middle of the bookshop, there were comfortable armchairs and sofas. People could sit down and read books before they decided to buy them. Sophie loved to sit in the armchairs and read. The owner of the bookshop, Mr. Thompson, was a kind old man with glasses and a friendly smile. He always welcomed Sophie and her mom warmly. "Hello, Sophie. Hello, Mrs. Davis," Mr. Thompson said as they entered. "Welcome to the Cozy Corner Bookshop. Perfect day for reading, isn't it?" "Hello, Mr. Thompson," Mom and Sophie replied. "Yes, it is a perfect day for books," Mom said, smiling. Sophie immediately went to the children's book section. This was her favorite part of the bookshop. The children's section was filled with colorful books with pictures of animals, fairy tales, and adventures. Sophie started to browse through the shelves, looking at all the books. She picked up a book with a bright red cover and looked at the pictures inside. It was a story about a brave little rabbit. Mom went to the other sections of the bookshop to look for books for herself. She liked to read novels and history books. She knew Sophie would be happy in the children's section for a long time. Sophie spent a long time looking at the children's books. She read a few pages of different books, looking at the pictures and reading the stories. She loved to discover new stories and new characters. After a while, Sophie found a book that she really liked. It was a big book with a blue cover, and it had pictures of stars and planets on it. It was a book about space and stars and the moon. Sophie was very interested in space. She sat down in a comfortable armchair in the children's section and started to read the space book. She read about planets and stars and astronauts. She got lost in the book, forgetting about the rain outside and everything else around her. Mom found Sophie sitting in the armchair, reading happily. Mom had also found a few books that she wanted to buy. "Have you found a good book, Sophie?" Mom asked gently. Sophie looked up from her book, smiling. "Yes, Mom. This book about space is so interesting. Can we buy it?" "Of course we can," Mom said. "If you like it, we will buy it." Sophie was very happy. She carefully closed the space book and carried it with her to the counter. Mom paid for the space book and her own books. Mr. Thompson put the books in a paper bag for them. He smiled at Sophie. "Enjoy your new book, Sophie," he said kindly. "Come back to visit us again soon, especially on another rainy day." "Thank you, Mr. Thompson. We will," Mom and Sophie said. They waved goodbye to Mr. Thompson and left the Cozy Corner Bookshop. They walked out of the bookshop and back into the rain. But now, Sophie didn't mind the rain at all. She was holding her new book about space tightly in her hands, and she was excited to go home and read it. They walked home through the rain, feeling happy and cozy inside, just like the Cozy Corner bookshop. Sophie knew that rainy days were not just gray and gloomy. Rainy days were also perfect days for visiting the bookshop, finding new stories, and getting lost in the magic of books. And she knew she would visit the Cozy Corner bookshop again soon, especially when the next rainy day came. Hope you enjoyed the story. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more stories like this. Thank you.